everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my channel. Today's project is a quick and simple little matchbook mini album that I made out of the leftover papers from the My Sweet paper pad, the A4 pad that I received from Country Craft Creations. So this is an additional little project out of the leftover papers that I had still in my box here from my design team package. So this is what I made. It's real easy to make out of one sheet of cardstock. This one's already been cut. I'll give you the measurements in just a bit. But you make it out of one sheet of cardstock, and I use the Craft Artisan. And of course, like I said, these scraps of paper from my collection, from my design team package. I used button twine jute string to tie it, so it just unties. I've kept it pretty simple here on the front. I haven't added any decorations, and you could add more if you wanted to, buttons and some roses and things. So I did an angle punch on mine. You can do whatever treatment you want on yours. This opens up, so here's the inside of the flap. And then I pieced this one here. I did matte with the gray artisan cardstock on some of the pieces, especially the outside, to give it a little more thickness. So this is matted. This is the back. This is where I attached the string. I added this as a chipboard sticker piece where I peeled off some of the layers of the chipboard underneath so it'd be a little more flatter. I wanted that metallic gold look there on it. So I matted the green onto the gray. So this opens up. This is the whole section that drops down. And again, so you have three little sections here. The top one, each one does open up. So you have the flap that opens up. I put a little pattern photo mat there, and then each one has a pocket that you create when you do the scoring. And here inside I've cut down some of the cut aparts, the little button cards that come with this. It's really cute. You could put notes, a gift card, whatever you wanted to inside the pocket. And then this one opens this way. Another photo mat here, and again a pocket. Now don't put any embellishments on these because you want to keep this as flat as possible. Here I did, on this one, did add a little extra flap. This is just cut out of the gray cardstock. It was a scrap that I had, and I folded it and attached it with a pattern paper hinge and made a little pocket out of it. And then fussy cut out one of these butterflies on one of the papers and just made a little tag. So you could just leave that for your photos if you wanted to, but then this also flips back like the others, has a place here, and then it has a little pocket. So you just fold it all up, bring it together, and it is pretty chunky, so you do want something to tie it with. I think a tie works better probably than a magnet would. I was initially going to try a magnet, but then I decided I think it needs just a tie. So you could use seam binding ribbon, or like I did, the string. So that's the little, it's only 3 by 3. Can slip in your pocket, little matchbook mini. So like I said, I used the leftover scraps of paper from my first project that I designed for Country Craft Creations using the My Sweet by Prima, which is an A2 pad that I had. You could use a 6 by 6 or whatever size paper you have. And this was from my design team package. And then I did use the artisan cardstock, which I cut down, and you're going to need just one piece that is 9 inches by 12. So that's all you're going to need to create this, is 9 inches by 12. To create this, you're going to need your scoreboard, scoring tool, some scissors, and of course your adhesive, which I use the Art Glitter Glue from Country Craft Creations. So put your 9-inch side, you have your one piece of cardstock that you cut 9 inches and left at the 12. So put your 9-inch side in at the top, and you're going to make 2 scores, 3-inch and 6. Okay, then we take it and turn it so that the 12 is at the top. And you're going to score at 2 3/4, 3, 6, 6 1/4, 9, and 9 1/4. Now I've done my score marks, but I'm going to, because they're hard for you to see in the camera, I'm going to pause for a second and I'll mark these with a pencil so that you can see a little bit clearer. Okay, so I have marked mine up with a pencil. You do not have to do that. This is just so it shows up better in the camera. So you've got all your score marks. You've got your, on your 12-inch side, you have your 2 3/4, your 3, 6, 6 1/4, 9 and 9 1/4, and of course on your 9-inch side you have 3 and 6. So I'm going to turn it like this. This is the orientation of the album. And apologize, I can't get it all quite in screen the way my camera is set up. As you can see, we have all the sections here. So now I'm going to mark what I need to cut away. So at the top, we keep this one is your flap. This will be the front flap. So we cut away all of this section here, all of this section here. We need the little 1/4 inch space here, but we do not need it on the right, and we do not need it on the left. So that's all going to be cut away. Now the next section, we have this flap, this centerpiece, and then we'll make a pocket out of this one. So we don't need these spacers here. You just need it in the center, these 1/4 inch ones. So I'm going to go ahead and mark all of those so that you can see that these come out. So we keep that. So we're going to make a pocket here. On the right, pocket here on the left, and then another pocket here on the right. So we're going to keep this flap all like this. So this is what we're going to cut right now. So take your scissors. I like to try to use my bigger scissors. Now since we're cutting all of this out, you can just make one cut here along the score line, right up to where that next one score line is. You want to keep that score line intact. So see, we have that, and we're going to cut out this square and that little 1/4 inch that's attached to it. That one's discarded. Then we're going to cut this one the same way, right along the line, because we want the center one to stay all the way to the second score line, because you're cutting away the little 1/4 inch. And discard that one. So this is our top flap, or front flap, and this is the one that I did an angle punch on. So I'm using my chomper that has an angle on it, and so I just insert that in there right there. That's the photo. Make sure I'm getting the right one. I want the angle, and I just do a quick angle punch. If you don't have an angle punch, you can use some other kind of corner punch or whatever. Now when we score this, we're going to have a little 1/4 inch space there, like that. So fold that back out of the way. Let's go ahead and cut out these next ones. So we're just cutting out the little 1/4 inch space on each side. So you cut right up to the score line and stop. Cut along, so you're cutting out the 1/4 inch. I'll stop and show you. Now I'm going to leave this attached for right now. I'll cut that out in a minute. So I'm just cutting both sides. Right there up to the score line and stop. Turn it and do the other side the same way, cutting out the side 1/4 inch spaces. Okay, one more line to cut. Now the next thing I usually do is I take my smaller scissors here, and I'm going to fold. I'm going to go ahead and fold these flaps. So I'm going to cut that one quite far enough so that these little 1/4-inch things are sticking out. All the way to the line, just make sure. Okay, so fold all of these. So you see these 1/4-inch ones sticking out? We need to get rid of them. So I'm just, when I fold it, then I can go in there and do a better job at just cutting it out. Okay, then we'll do the other side the same way. Let's fold this in. And then next we'll do a little bit more scoring. I like to do this cutting and then do the scoring. We're going to make our pockets. So then we'll cut these out as well. You turn it over this way, it's just as easy, maybe even easier to cut. Okay, so we have those out. And now we're ready to make our pockets. And we're almost done with this. So, to make the pockets, remember, they've got the little notch and they have a space here. So we need to do some more scoring. So what we have here, you can see all this. I mean, you could leave it that way and you wouldn't have any pockets, and that's fine if that's what you like. That's an option that you could do, but I thought the pockets were kind of cute. So we're going to line this back up. Put this one at the top, these at the side. You want to kind of get it lined up as best you can. We're going to work on this side first. We have 2 pockets here. And take my tool and my ruler. So we want to cut off 1 inch. So we keep these about, we want our pocket to be about 2 inches. So this was a 6-inch. So we're going to score at 8. So help me because I don't have anything here. I'm going to put my ruler here at the top, keep it real flush. See that line there? And we're going to score on this one at 8 and this one. Now you could just mark it with a pen if you wanted to and cut along the lines. And then this one here in the center, I'm going to leave it 2 inches, so that's 3. We're going to score it at 1 inch. This is a little harder to line up my ruler here, but just going to score it at 1 inch. Now I'm not going to mark these with the pencil. We're just going to cut those away. So we just go back in and along that score line just cut that 1 inch off, 2 on the right, and the center one, oh, I marked it wrong. I marked it on the top one. So we'll redo that. I don't know what I was thinking. That's going to be covered up with paper once I get around to making one. So I'm going to mark it here on this side here. There's the line. So mark the center one. I'm sure you saw that when I was scoring it wrong. So here we cut these out of the way. We cut right along the 1 inch score mark here. Okay, so there's our pockets ready. We're not going to glue them down until you add your pattern paper. The next thing you will do is take your little, if you have one, or you have any kind of notch tool, whatever you want to use. So I have my little mini envelope punch board, and these measure, make sure, 3 inches, just a little bit shy of 3 inches. So I'm going to put this at 1.5. That should get it pretty close and punch. So you just do this on the pocket one. All three of them. And you will use this punch on your pattern paper for your pocket when you're adding your pattern paper. I am not going to be adding pattern paper on this one. Just showing you the basic how to put it together. Ignore, I'm going to rub this out. Ignore the one that I scored wrong. So I'm going to rub that out. So when I pattern it, it won't show. So there's your pockets. So let's take our bone folder. Let me grab my mat. And I'm looking for my bone folder. Pretty sure it's here somewhere. Couldn't find my regular bone folder, so I'm going to use this one. These are Teflon as well. So go back over it, fold everything the way it's going to go. Like this one, I have a little bit of the paper where I cut just kind of sticking out, and I'm just going to trim that a little bit. Fold this, burnish the pocket. That one's kind of off center. There we go. And you can fold it this way. Okay. Now, it's important when you're doing your pattern paper, of course, you will measure for this in the front and the back. On the outside, I did do little tiny strips on mine. Fold it up so you can see. Because I just thought that it reinforced it, just the outer ones. I didn't do the inside, but I could. So that's optional. I did the inside here between, so you can see I haven't finished it, so I didn't do that one. So when you get to the part for your pocket, you're going to add pattern paper to this left side of this first one. You don't have to cover it solid. Just make sure you get it in underneath the notch. So I did about 2 inches on mine. This direction. Yeah, 2 inches was plenty. 1.5, 2 inches, whatever your scraps are. Then once you have patterned your paper, you will put glue just on the top edge and the bottom edge of your pocket, and you'll glue it down and then pattern your pocket. Okay, so you do the same thing on all three of those. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, what was different here, and of course fold so that you have your little 1/4 inch space between them. Like that, kind of like a little box, like a matchbox, that's what they're called. And that comes down. And you can put tie, any kind of closure you want. This particular one, I just had the scrap of paper that I liked, and I took a separate piece of the gray artisan cardstock and I cut it down. This is about 2 1/4 by 2 3/8. I added a piece of pattern paper for a hinge. Then I glued it down here, and I just added some for decorating. And then I cut a little pocket thing extension and made a little pocket here. And then this just fussy cut and glued onto the cardstock. So that's really all I did different. That is just totally optional. You don't have to. So that is how you make a little Matchbook Mini album. I hope you give it a try and use up some of your scraps to make fun little gifts. Like I said, you could tuck a gift card in here or some cash. So it'd be really a fun project for Mother's Day, for a shower, baby or wedding shower, for graduation. So I hope you enjoy and have fun. And that is the end of this tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so you'll get a notification of my next project that I have, as well as check out countrycraftcreations.com for your crafting supplies, your adhesives, your art glitter glue, your score tape, your button jute twine string, pattern papers, and artisan cardstock. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.